Hey everyone, appreciate you all being here at USA Crypto Group for this AMS session. We're very excited to have Pajamas with us today to discuss their project called Pajamas. And its mission is to be the first $1 billion cat meme coin. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome Marshall from the team. Marshall, it's a pleasure having you here. If you can start out introducing yourself, talking about your team, and giving us a bit of insight into your background and experience.
Like you said, I'm spokesperson, at least one of the spokespersons. So we have another that will be introduced a little bit later on through the week. But I'm a spokesperson for Pajamas. My name's Rodney Marshall, aka Marshall Bodie, and thanks for having me on here. Thanks for having us. Thanks for partnering with us. We do really appreciate everything you are doing for Pajamas as well. My experience is, I mean, I'm not a public speaker by any stretch of imagination. I really, a handful of months ago was doing spaces or was asked to help with one of my communities that I was in, projects that I was in. They needed someone to do spaces, and I had never done one before. So probably this is maybe my 20 to 30th space that I've done, or VC. I've actually probably done more VCs than spaces. Live recordings or just doing spaces in general are a little bit more nerve wracking. But I entered the market in 2020 during the COVID crash, and I thought I was brilliant because I was like, everything I'm buying is going up, not understanding that I was buying this huge crater dip that struck across the globe in the stock market. And so I kind of entered into that, and then I realized what was going on with the markets. But I wasn't taught, finance, economics growing up. So I'm a late bloomer in that aspect. But soon after that, I realized I got into a couple cryptos. Dogecoin got rugged. Well, I didn't get rugged, but Saturday Night Live happened, and we all know what happened after Saturday Night Live. So. But then I got into SHIB, and so the reason why I'm bringing that up is I actually made a substantial amount of money with SHIB token, but I actually didn't get into it till it hit the exchange on Webull, and that was my first taste, and the only taste that I needed, where I realized that generational wealth is something I've been seeking, and I've had different companies, and none of it has really yielded the kind of money that I was looking for in the stock market. While I was making decent money there, I think everyone can attest to this, that it's, you don't get those types of X's. And so when I really got my taste of what you could do in crypto was with SHIB, and that I was hooked. So since then, I've been through a bear market, and now we're coming kind of out the other side of that bear market. And I've been with several different meme tokens and several different other projects, and kind of ended up falling into speaking and doing spaces. And then I was recommended by my good friend Jack, who's somewhere down in here at this time listening, but he actually recommended me to be a spokesperson. And I was interviewed for the position by the team, and they welcomed me aboard. And since then, I think that was that was the 8th, 9th, 10th, maybe the 11th. And then since then, it's just been kind of getting all the information and deep diving into Steve and just the project. But the team is great. They've welcomed me on. The community is great. Everyone's been very supportive, very helpful. I really, it wasn't a hard sell for me once I saw the team, and it was really unbelievable when I found that Steve Chen was part of the admin group. I almost, probably like many of you guys, when you first found out, that I just didn't believe it. It was just unbelievable. I know, coming from who Steve is and what he represents and what the space is, it's just like unheard of to have all of these things together. You have the first YouTube cat video ever uploaded to YouTube. You have a meme that's a cat meme based off that. Then you have, Steve Chen and his contributions with YouTube and his legacy. And then you have the fact that Steve Chen is on board. It literally checked all the boxes. And so I was really, and have been excited for the journey ever since, and really have been working with the team. The team is second to none. Steve Chen is second to none. One of the things I really love is that our team, it's like 24 hours, 24/7. Everyone's in different time zones. So the team is basically always working. It's very impressive to see the communications. We have many topics in the background and sometimes thousands of messages. I wouldn't say thousands, but like 1,500 to a couple thousand messages per day on the back end, just in the admin group, not to mention the handful of thousand from our actual community. And then, to see how Steve was interacting with the admin group and the community and just kind of in there, in it to win it and really dedicated to the project. I feel like this is the biggest opportunity that I've ever had, not only with the project, but to work with Steve Chen. I hope I've said enough. I'm going to shut up now.
No, you good. I appreciate the introduction there, Marshall. Definitely, the first time that I've heard about Pajama was on Mario Spaces, and I think Decentralized was on. And he only had a brief moment to speak about pajamas. And just like you, the first thing I did was I went to your Facebook page, pajamas not Facebook but Twitter's page, and just to
Mm-hmm.
make sure verify if whether it's actually Steve, the co-founder of YouTube, set. So I went to his YouTube. At that time, Steve didn't
Yep.
have he didn't have the blue check mark. I'm like, oh, there's no way, because I've been in the space for a very long time, been around for 7, 8 years. I was actually a very first investor in Shiba Inu as well. I think
Mm-hmm.
altogether I made like around 120 grand off that. But had I held that,
Wow.
it would be like around at its high around almost 35 million. And
Wow.
it tells you, right? The blockchains remind you of that. So
Yeah.
I think the word wrecked was created for me, but you learn, right? You learn from it. And but anyway, because of that reason, a bunch of friends came together, and that's how USA Crypto Group was formed. Just a bunch of friends looking for projects to invest to. And over the years, and I realized that, sometimes it's not necessary the idea of the business of the project, right? But the people that are behind it. So that's the reason why, being a US Crypto Group, we get so many offers, literally a lot of offers, especially meme coins, like
Mm-hmm.
50% of supply, 30% of supply, 10,000 here, 20,000 there. And I can honestly tell you in front of my guys here, we have not taken any offer. The reason is we know that we're gonna just mess people up. We're gonna rug people. These projects are not there for the right reason. So it's funny because when I heard about pajamas and everything checked out, I came back to Johnny and Mike, and the first thing they asked me is like, "How much did they offer us?" I said 0. They're like, "What?" I said, "Nope." I said, "There's a big narrative going on. Not only that, but I verified that it's actually Steve, the co-founder of YouTube, a platform that we use every day, literally every day, right?" And I was in your TG, and Steve was so involved. He was so active, and I'm like, there's no way. Like you're talking about co-founder of YouTube, and this, he's just so humble, dude, right? And I did my research, and I came back to the team like, hey, listen, we're not paid. We're not getting paid at all, but I love to support this team. I think the narrative is big, and I think they're in it for the right reason. So it's funny because we have so many offers, a lot of money, and we never accepted one. And yet the first one that we ever partnered with a meme coin, nothing, 0. And as you know, we've been talking to your team, gotten to know your team. We had a few meetings, voice chat,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'll tell you what, man, everything checked out like you said. Steve is there, the team is there, the working ethic is there, great people behind it. Now you're on board as a spokesperson now, which at the time when Decentralized had a chat on Mario. Again, it will go in depth, but it is a community takeover token. So at that time, it was just so new, right? And so I think the directions, the mission, even though Steve is on board, but I think he's not used the crypto space yet, right? He's just not. He
Yeah.
doesn't have a
Yeah.
years experience in the crypto. But of course, Steve came from a business background. He's a billionaire. So I think with the leadership, and I'm putting one together, I'm like, wow, you know what? We're gonna back this team up because everything checked out. It have amazing team. We're gonna bounce some ideas off, and that's why we had a couple voice chat with Decentralized and the team. And since then, you guys made a few changes over there. I think some positive changes over there, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. But I want to go back to the story of pajamas, Marshall. So tell us, like I know it's a community takeover token. How did that come about? Do you have a story behind that?
I do. Let me make sure I got this going on here real good. So can you guys hear me pretty well?
Yes.
Okay,
Loud and
good.
clear.
Okay, good. So yeah, it's a very interesting story. So it kind of goes back to in May, around May 10th, 11th. There was a tweet that was Jack Dorsey where he was talking about selling his first tweet for $4 million. I guess he turned it into an NFT and sold it. And Steve Chen had noticed that comment and kind of commented on that. Well, if that's the case, I wonder what the first cat video on YouTube would be worth. And it kind of got the dialogue going back and forth with other people in the community, other people on Twitter at the time before it became X, and just people were talking. And then this kind of comment it kept resurfacing, and so our community members of the community at that time, like you said, it was community takeover, but in the beginning it was a project that kind of started, just like many meme coins start, and it kind of the dev rugged it or whatever, and just kind of took that normal. It seems normal now, like it just seems to happen. It's like part of it is that a coin has to be born into existence, and then it has to rug. Then a community has to take it over. It's like if that doesn't happen that way, it's almost unheard of. But yeah, we've gotten to be accustomed and used to like this type of thing. But yeah, the community takeover, and some folks from the community that was there when this happened, they believed in the narrative, and they believed that that it still like was something viable, and they wanted to still stand behind it. So on that comment, one of the people from the community that was taking it over had said to check out Pajamas. They left the contract address, they left the Telegram, first YouTube, first YouTube cat. And Steve kind of said, "What is this?" And he started commenting, and people were like, "Holy shit, like this is really Steve commenting on this." And so they were able to get Steve's attention, and then a dialogue kind of started going back and forth with the new community and the new group. And in the beginning, Steve was I'm sure hesitant. This was his this actually ended up being his first purchase in crypto. So he actually the team talked to him as he was intrigued and saw the narrative as being viable and strong as well, and what potential it could have. And he decided that he wanted to be a part of the community, and he was made an admin, and he became kind of in the background there for a little while in the very beginning. And it's really something that it's kind of like things happen sometimes by accident on purpose. So it's like there's no real way that in the real world, like as the crypto space that we know, that this would happen, but it was by accident. So that's what I mean. So by this project being launched and by being rugged, and the community reaching out and commenting on a post, like I don't even think that they thought that they would get Steve Chen's attention. And it was almost just like, well, let's try. Like, what do we have to lose? But as Steve Chen became more and more interested in the project just started to grow. And Steve Chen, like you said, he's a billionaire, and with a billionaire's mindset, billionaire's mentality, kind of started to direct the team the best way he knew how in a business sense. But knowing very little about crypto at the time. Now he knows a lot about crypto actually, and he's really done his homework over the last 6 weeks or so. And it's interesting because I asked Steve when we had the interview back on the 14th of April, what do his friends think? And they're all kind of like torn. Some are like stay away. Some are like, what is this? And so it's really interesting to see that if you look at Steve's his Twitter account, you can see the connections that have been made, and he comments a lot about pajamas and Kevin Lynn from Twitch has started talking about collabing, and Bit National was a member of our community, and we have a partnership now with Bit National with 350 ATM machines, Bitcoin ATM machines across Canada, and all of these partnerships that have been forming, like with you guys, organically. But yeah, so that's kind of how it came to be. The new team revamped the website, did a lot of work in the community, formulated a good admin team, got me on board as a spokesperson, even though I don't feel like I'm the best. I don't think that that I'm not conceited that way. I don't think that anyone could ever be the best at anything ever. They should always strive to be better. So I continue to get better with each time. I know being on camera is a little bit more nerve-wracking than just my voice. So that's a little bit of a place that I'm growing at. But, I look at how Steve has grown and what he had to overcome to just be on this journey with us. And, I just am willing to match him 100%. So, and the community is as well, and our admin team as well. So it's been a great journey. It's been nice to see all of this collabing and all of this coming together. But Steve every day is in our, not just in our admin group, but he's in with the community talking. And that's one of the things that stand out about Steve to me, is that we all know he's a regular person. He's a normal person, but that's usually not the case. You have high net worth individuals that have the kind of they come across as entitled, or like they're above, but not with Steve. He really is, treats us as equals, and that's really something special. And like I said to you before, it's only been a few days since I've actually been able to wrap my mind around the fact of everything that has gone on with this project, and that Steve Chen is communicating with me and the team every day. And every day I'd wake up and it's just like, it's hard to believe, coming from my little experience in crypto and going through all of the rugs and different projects, that have been not so pleasant, and to arrive here, to me, it's divine intervention, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. This is just the beginning, though, for Pajamas.
I love it. I love it. And I love what you said. I think there's no perfection, right? But we should always strive for perfection, even though there's no perfection.
That's right. It's a
And
journey.
it's a journey. It's a journey.
Yeah.
You got to have a destination, but you got to fall in love with the journey. It's the process, right? And I think I
Hmm.
kind of have the sense with you guys as a team too, right? And like you guys, like you mentioned, there it was a community takeover. And if you guys actually look at the chart now, you can see that the original developers had sold off the tokens, and you can see the big dip, right? And I think when I heard about you guys, it was like around, I think it was around 3 million, 2.5 maybe, when decentralized was on Mario Spaces. And that's when I kind of checked it out, and I was like, okay, this is great time to really, I can sense that it was a community takeover as well. And I had a chat. We had a meeting with decentralizing the team, and I can sense how flexible you guys are, right? Like us too. We always have a beginner's mindset, and we had a private meeting, and I was just bouncing off ideas based off our experience, right, in the space, because we've done hundreds of AMAs, worked with many different projects. So over time, we're gonna have, kind of see what works and what doesn't work, what type of marketing, is needed, etc. And,
Hmm.
my team and you guys team would just bounce some ideas. To my surprise, you guys took some of the ideas and just kind of implemented really fast. And I'm like, wow, I'm impressed, because, change is not very easy, right? Sometimes people really get fixed into their belief. And I was like, wow, I love this team, because, they're willing to listen, bounce idea, right? And just, analyze and see, figure out whether it's going to work. At least you try, right? And that's why I kind of go back to my team. It's like, wow, you know what? This team is an amazing team. And ever since, I've been in a private room with you guys, everybody there
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
hardworking people. And now having you as a spokesperson, I tell you what, you're doing a heck of a job there, Marshall. I think you
Thank you.
represent very well. I mean, look at the sign in the back. It can't be any better than that, right?
Yeah, that's just the beginning. That's where it started for me. But yeah, that's my beginning. It's gonna get much better, guys. Just wait. Thank you though for your
Yeah,
vote of confidence.
but no, I love the story. I love the community takeover. I love, Steve again. This is a tribute to Steve as well, and we've been working hard trying to really, do whatever we can to raise awareness to pajamas as well, because I think the narrative is there, the story is there, and how often do you have a billionaire? Come on, co-founder YouTube, literally actively working on a token, right? So it's amazing. Uh, but yeah, so I think I like to, is Steve here? I like to get Steve on here. I'm not sure how much time he has. I know he's a busy guy. I like to get Steve on here. Just talk about pajamas, his cat for a bit if we can. Are you there, Steve? Maybe
I'm
he's probably
actually
just
looking.
listening.
Do you still see him down there? Because I'm scrolling.
Yes,
I don't see
he's
him.
actually, he's
Okay.
actually unmuted. He's actually unmuted. But it's okay.
I'm sure he'll
But
pipe
yeah,
in then if he is unmuted and he's got a minute. I know his schedule is very packed, jam packed right now. But let's see. I think they're sending me something. Okay. Yeah, they're just everyone's we're not sure if he's going to pipe in or not. So if I'm looking at I got my phone over here where they're sending me some information, but they'll let me know if he's going to jump up here. But right now he's not, but he may pipe in here. It's still undetermined, but I'm getting jet lagged. I'm hearing jet lag, and that's pretty understandable. But yeah, that he did actually touch on his cat, his 18 years ago, pajamas, and that story. I don't want to say it for him, but there's a little bit of story behind pajamas as the cat that he did share with us on the interview on the 14th, and you were there. So, but go ahead, let's roll.
but yeah, you can tell that this is all for his cat, right? And you can tell that the
Yeah,
love that he has for his cat, right? So
yeah.
this I mean, guy doesn't have to do this. I think this is fun. And since we've been in partnership with you guys, again, we never worked with for another meme token before. This has actually been a lot of fun for us as well. Actually, it's been a lot of fun. We said that Bobby buy bot, just kind of like what you guys have over there. So every time there's a sell, it's kind of exciting to see, right? It pops in your channel that there's a sell, right? And I know that within our community, we have a lot of investors, also bought in as well. So every time, there's a sale, everybody gets excited, right? So it just makes the room more exciting. So that's, yeah, it's been really fun for us as well. Now let's talk about the future of ultimately, Marshall. Now I know that there's been I think we all on the same page that this will be the first $1 billion token. Is that the mission here?
I would say no. I would say no. The mission is not to be the first billion. I would say the mission is to be the first $10 billion meme, cat meme. So I think a billion is just scratching the surface. While that may be goal number one, that is by no means where I feel like that the bigger. I mean, if you think about SHIB reaching a $40 billion market cap, and if you think about Dog with a Hat since December, I actually I disregarded that token actually, and I think it's still sitting around 2.8 billion. These types of memes, I mean, they have a great community. They have great marketing. I'm not trying to downplay their efforts and their successes, but it's like you look at those types of things and you look at what we have, and I think $1 billion would be $1 per token. So that's the first meme token, cat meme token to $1 billion for us. That's $1. when you look at what's out there and what they've been able to accomplish, I think that is it's an understatement to say that that's our goal. But I think realistically, I don't think 10 billion is off the table for Pajamas. I think that when you look at the ties to Silicon Valley, you look at the ties to PayPal mafia, and Steve's ties to the early days with Zuckerberg and Elon. I mean, the man even worked with Steve Jobs, rest in peace, my man, Steve, with helping to develop the first YouTube app, because the YouTube at that time, they were developing it third party, and they needed Steve's help because everything was done in house for Apple, and so he had to work with Steve Jobs and the Apple team developing the first app for YouTube on the iPhone back in those days. And so it's just one of the stories there. And you look at all of the, he spent 15 years in Silicon Valley. I think I'm right. When I say that. It was 15 years. Just more recently, 5 years, or I think 2017, he moved to Taiwan to make so that his children can be more well-rounded and just have the Taiwanese American is what they kind of look at folks from the U.S. But he thought it was important for them to experience Taiwan and help them to be more well-rounded. And so he did move there, but then even since he's been there, he's an angel investor, helps a lot of startups, and that's really something special there. So he's got a lot of connections there with the Asian market as well. But when you look at, the type of connections that are still untapped, celebrity, athletes, these are all untapped at this point. This has been all organic. These are there's things that will be announced in the future, so I can't speak on some of the partnerships and collabs. But if you look at everything we've accomplished already and the partnerships that are aligning already organically, and then you look at some point, when we go mainstream, because we're still not mainstream yet, but when we go mainstream and the wider audience and the world understands Steve is behind this Pajamas token and what it means to him, in my own words, the man, if you just do your research, the man still owns $1.7 billion of Google stock, and he has forever ties to YouTube. So when you think of what they may do to help immortalize Pajamas, or to help to solidify his legacy, those are all untapped. His other, billionaire friends, multimillionaire friends, different companies, all of that is untapped, and it's a community effort. So it's not all what Steve can do, it's us as a community. But in my own words, you can't help but to think of when we get into those levels, with all of his Web 2 friends and colleagues that are now kind of interested in Web 3, and really it's untapped. Web 3 is still untapped. There's so much that meme coins can do for Web 3, so much Pajamas can do for Web 3. And I think when you connect those bigger dots, I think it's like Mars mission. I mean, we're just gonna launch. When you look at what people buy into, and the fact that all these other assets have maybe 20 or 30% of what we have, and then you add, there's no other multi-billionaire out there that is backing an asset other than Elon with Dogecoin. And we all know Dogecoin wasn't made for Elon. This was directly created to immortalize Pajamas, first YouTube cat. And by the way, it was the 8th video ever uploaded to YouTube as a platform, which is kind of just crazy. And IMDb basically says that this was the first cat video ever uploaded to the internet as a whole. So if you can find a video that's precedes Pajamas video, then let us know. Until then, we're gonna go ahead and go with that. So, but when you just look at all those aspects and you look at this as a meme token, this is a meme season is coming up. We have dog theme memes, we have cat theme memes, and cat theme memes are doing really well. And there's a nice space with the wider crypto audience that embraces cat memes. And people just don't know about what's transpiring and what's formulating at this juncture. And I just think that once we get into mainstream and these dots are connected and the collabs and partnerships continue to be unwound, I can't see $1 billion. I mean, I think that would be the absolute minimum in my no financial advice, but in my own personal opinion. What do you think?
Love it. I love it. I think, the funny thing is that I just heard about PayPal Mafia literally like around 3 days ago. Literally 3 days ago, I was actually scrolling on my cell phone. And what I like to do is like every morning, I would like to listen to a motivational speech, right? And, over time, the algorithm on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, and it kind of knows what you want. It kind of gives you what you want, right, when you're scrolling through it. And Ty Lopez pops up. And I swear to God, I think I have the video saved somewhere. And he was talking about PayPal Mafia, the 12 or 18 geniuses. And Steve Chen was mentioned on that video from
Yeah.
Ty Lopez. I was like, whoa. So I was like, what is this PayPal Mafia? Then I actually went on Google and actually looked it up. And I'll tell you what, he has direct tie to Elon Musk and with a bunch of other people. Let me see if I pull that image up. I actually want to Google it.
Yeah, there is an image. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so you're talking about Jeremy from Yelp, Reed from LinkedIn, Elon,
Yep.
Tesla, Keith, Square. I actually do business with Square because I run a few businesses. You have, Premal, Kiva, Slide. I mean, you have, of course, Steve of YouTube, Peter Thiel. I mean, you're talking about like, these are geniuses, like the biggest company in the world.
Yep.
So when you put one on one together, and I didn't know about this, like literally, I just found out about this, like literally, accidentally scrolling through Facebook.
Yeah.
But I mean, these guys. I mean, Steve worked directly with Elon, so think about it. I
Yeah.
mean, your team, Pajamas team, hasn't even tried to even like reach out to
Yeah.
Elon, except
Yeah.
think about it, guys. I think eventually this is a no-brainer now. You have like 18 of the smartest guys in the world has direct connection to Steve.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. I think it's a matter of time. Elon is gonna at least like or retweet something. I mean, just a matter of time.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what I was alluding to, is without saying, like, it's like I want to be careful, like expecting Steve Chen to just go out and like start talking about pajamas and soliciting essentially to his his inner groups and so on. It needs to be organic as well, and it's a community project. It's not all what Steve can do for pajamas. It's what we as a community, with Steve's help, can do together. And I think that as we dig deep and we continue to push, Steve continues to push. He continues to connect dots in his circles and collab with people in his everyday life, and even back to PayPal Mafia and just other people in general. You have to imagine this man has been in Silicon Valley for 15 years, or he spent 15 years in Silicon Valley, where every neighbor in Silicon Valley is a CEO or something, owner of a company that obviously is a household name most time. But one of the funny things that we're kind of the curtail, I guess you could say, riding off that curtails of the PayPal Mafia, is Pajamas Mafia. And I know you've seen some of that in our TG, but Pajamas Mafia. So if you look at when you do, so like when you do pajamas, $ pajamas on the X platform, it's hard to see our actual token, because I think it's 5 characters is what it recognizes. And so so pajamas, the cat is kind of what, hashtag we had before, trying to create, uniqueness with our hashtag. And pajamas mafia is also now what we're using as a hashtag. And we've kind of got our own funny spins on it and stuff. And it's still in its early stages of you guys probably seeing it mainstream, but Steve is absolutely thinks it's hilarious, and he loves the idea that we're pajamas mafia.
It's funny you mentioned that, because there was a tweet from apparently he had a meeting with China Binance, right? And
Yeah.
he was holding a yellow bag, and I think he just posted it, and I retweeted to our USA X page. But
Uh-huh.
then like a couple of days later, I think that one of the community members actually zoomed in into the yellow bag that he was holding with Binance. So apparently Binance made the bag for him as a gift, and when you zoom into it, it literally hashtag pajamas mafia on the bag that Binance gave it to him as a gift. So pajamas mafia is actually forming right now. It is real. It is real, and
Yeah.
I thought it was actually pretty crazy that somehow Binance picked it up and made that for him, which is incredible.
Yeah, I did see that on there as well. I will say, full disclosure, that not to take away from that's actually something that may have happened or could have happened, but I saw also in the backdrop there was a little black cat on the pane of window and a slice of pizza in the back, if you zoom in on that picture. And so I wasn't actually sure. I didn't actually confirm with the team or even ask, but I almost felt like that it could have been edited or like photoshopped a little bit by someone. And I actually forgot to bring it up to the team after I looked and saw, because if you zoom in, you see the bag, and then in the background, you see the cat in the window, and you see a little slice of pizza. And I was like, so
I'll
did
tell you
Binance
what,
put that on there?
if that's the case, that's awesome. I mean, that's it could you may be right. You may be right, but still, that's pretty awesome for somebody to do
It
that. I
is,
believe.
absolutely. But I can tell you what, though. I'm sure that, with all jokes aside, that they love the idea of what's going on with pajamas, and they love what we're doing. Um, we 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 cannot confirm nor deny anything with Binance at this time. All I can tell you is that just stay tuned.
Right, and rightfully so. When you're talking about like big sex exchanges like that, you cannot speak about it, right? It's just part of the rules and regulations that
Yeah,
you're unable to speak on it. But that's the thing, right? And I love the fact that someone may have edited that, and that's part of memes, right? So what's happening now is that I see a lot of tokens come through us for an AMA. They claim themselves as a meme token, but there's nothing memes about it. It's literally no memes is spitting out, no graphics spitting out. Over time, people seem to forget that if you claim yourself to be a meme token, make it a meme token, make it fun, right? Make it crazy, make it exciting, right? And
yeah,
that's the whole point of meme.
yeah.
Uh, and I know that you guys are working very hard out there. Every day I see new graphic. Actually, it was I
There's you see the smile on my face, and it's because there's so much being worked on in the background, and those any updates and little gold nuggets will be um, purposely I guess announced at different milestones, or just different without saying any other information. But I guess I could just say, timeline wise, there'll be announcements made, and there'll be announcements made in weeks to come, in months to come, and further out. And our team is actually thinking so far in the future that we have so much bullish sentiment and catalyst to work off of for months and months and months to come.
oh yeah, and I definitely see the work ethic there. Like you said, the narratives there, Steve is there. and that's the reason why we're working with you guys closely, working with you guys, and
We
to
got
really
some
raise.
goodies for you guys.
Yeah, yeah, big things going on. But we're not
Big
the only
things.
partnership. Pajama just formed recently. Let's talk about the partnership from is it Bit Nation? Let's talk
Bit
about it for
National. It's actually,
Bit
yeah,
National.
it's Bit National, and it's Matthew Hayden. I always say Hayden or Haddon, Haddon. I need to talk to him personally and just ask him to make sure I'm pronouncing it and not slaughtering his name. But he's a very nice man. He's in our admin group. He's in our he was actually a community member, and he was investing in Pajamas and saw the narrative as being something viable, and it was something he personally invested in. And at some point, just like Steve, he saw the community, saw the great narrative, saw that Steve was actually real and around. And I think it was after the interview on the 14th, he actually stepped forward and announced that he wanted to form a partnership with Pajamas. And again, we didn't pay for that partnership. And I can tell you that the man owns 350 Bitcoin ATM machines across Canada, has them in some really prime locations with like annual foot traffic around 200 million folks. And I do know that he's planning on buying I guess, I don't know if it's buying or just integrating 150 more across Canada. And so he actually did, and sometimes it's hard for me to know what I'm allowed to say, but I think I can say this, that his idea, just preliminary, like there's a lot that Bit National has in the pipeline for Pajamas, and some of it obviously I can't talk about, and some of it you will be announced soon. But one of the things that I think is really awesome, and I believe this is something I can say, I hope so, fingers crossed. But what his plan is to give us free advertising on his machines for the next year, and that's something that he's doing free of charge because he loves Pajamas and he loves the narrative. And it's actually what it's going to be, just to give you an idea of how will you incorporate Pajamas into these Bitcoin ATM machines. It's like they're Bitcoin ATM machines, but I guess when no one's using the ATM machine and people are just passing by on the idle screen, it's going to have Pajamas there. And so that's huge. Like, so if you can imagine an ATM machine, the Bitcoin ATM machine, you walk up to it and you're looking, and it's got Pajamas there, all the information about Pajamas. And so, and also a way to buy Pajamas through the ATM machine. And that's just one of the there's many things that Bitcoin National has got lined up, but that's the only one I think I can actually talk about at this time.
That is amazing. Yeah. So I think, with 350 ATMs, as the space grow, right, those ATMs is going to be very, very popular. I definitely see a few now in Seattle where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, right now it's still very early, but I think as the space continues to evolve, I think it's just going to be like a regular ATMs. That's when you can really get those exposure, right? But especially what you said there, at the idle screen is Pajamas, and you are able to buy Pajamas. Well, at least it's gonna spark curiosity when people see Pajamas in front of screens, right? What is Pajamas, right? It sparks a lot of curiosity, and they can look into it, and they will see the narrative. So yeah, and I think this is just the beginning for Pajamas. Just kind of like Pajamas now in partnership with us, and we've been around for a very long time. I think 3 years now. We've done, we actively doing AMAs. So different communities come to us for AMAs. And so that's something that we've also planned to really raise awareness to Pajamas as well. In fact, I was actually talking to my team. We have this every Saturday, a bunch of projects apply to come in and have like a 5 to 10 minutes pitch to our community, with their communities as well. So we have this banner goes out every Saturday, and I talk to my team whether that's okay to have literally put Pajamas on that banner going forward every Saturday. And of course, that's going to get a lot of exposure as well through the different communities, but also we have a lot of connection in the space as well. So we plan to really, really help you guys help Pajamas And also, paying tribute to Steve Chen. Come on, guys. This is a YouTube founder.
I
name a
know.
name a platform that you actually use as much as YouTube. This guy deserves the respect. I mean, like, and he's a humble guy, and he's really likable guy. I gotta say, he's a really cool guy. But yeah, so we will, use our resources to help pajamas, but not just through us, but I think in the future here, you will see that a lot of other big companies, even KOLs and projects, is going to want to really partner with pajamas as well, just because they can see the narrative, right, and they can see the people that are behind it. So I don't think it's very hard to partner with pajamas. So yeah, I think everything checked out.
You see
Now,
this right? I want to show you this right here. So this is something that this is something I'm actually working on with a friend of mine. And I can say this because this is something I'm adding to bring into the table for pajamas. But a friend of mine has access to some billboards, and one of them is actually in Times Square that allows you to put things on there about crypto. And I'm actually going back and forth with him today. I'll block off the name here so you can't see that. Let me see. Let me save. Let me just show this real quick. So I'll go to my gallery. That way there's no private information on this. But this is the billboard that I'm working on getting pajamas on. Let's see if I can, my screen's dirty. Uh-oh. Let's see. Didn't come out
it's
the
kind of
way.
blurry, but
Yeah,
that is
I don't
amazing
know.
there, Marshall.
I
That is
can't.
awesome.
I was trying to show you, but I have a ring light, and I can see it here. But it's I'll post it. Actually, I'll put it in the TG because it's something fun to see. But at some point, we will have pajamas up there, so you stay tuned. And that's something I'm working on, and so I know I can say it. But it's just something else. It's the community. You're talking about what you can do, what you're going to do for pajamas, what Steve's doing, what Matthew's doing. This is just something that I'm doing with a friend of mine, and just that's the cool thing about pajamas is everyone in the community like has a skill set and has something to offer, and everyone's coming together to do what they can for pajamas, and it's unprecedented, really, in the meme space at this early stage to have this many collaborations, partnerships, and just this much momentum and just a kick ASS team.
And that's what I like about it, right? And it's the reason why we have not accepted any offers, because we actually enjoy doing this, right? We actually just do it because we like the project, we like the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we were to do it for money or any other ways, I think we would not. We would feel different, right? We would feel different, and that's what community-driven project is about. Is this community come together and build a community? I remember being Shiba Inu very early on. And at that time, meme coin was very early. I didn't know what to think about it. Nobody actually really, I'm really surprised that some people held to this day. Man, that takes a lot of guts, right? I I made a few $1,000s. I was super happy, right? But now looking back, it's like, God dang, I should have held it. But I tell you what, though, the narrative here of this project, it's strong. It's strong. And I tell you what, when we first alerted to our community, it was around 3 million here. And we knew that it would not be there for a very long time. And as you can see, once it passed that resistance at 16, it went to 16, then it shot up to 36, right? Immediately. And right now it's been consolidating. It's at 18, around 19, around 20. 20
Mm-hmm.
million, guys. You see many meme tokens out there with no narrative, with nothing, you have nothing checked out. And it's at 50, 100, 200 million. So, I mean, not for financial advice, but again, when I always say, always invest in the team, invest in the people that are behind it, and you have to be willing to ride it through, right? I made a lot of mistakes in my early days where I could go around just trade, right, and just do not hold anything. And so now my advice is that if
Guilty
you
as
find a
charged.
good team, yep, you find a good team, you find a good project, you have to be willing to ride it through. You got to be willing to ride it through. You have to have conviction. Because if you look back, how much money did you actually really made from trading in and out?
Yeah, a lot of times you'll take your profit from one thing and you go into another when you actually fast forward and look where you ended up. You actually lost a big percentage of your profits because you kept rotating in and out of different other memes. And like you said, if you had just stayed put, it could have been life-changing money. And it's lessons learned through crypto. So it's good that you're talking about it, and good that you're bringing it up even from your point of view. You know, you're successful at this point with crypto, and I'm sure we all still learn lessons every day with crypto, but you kind of learned the hard way as well as I have. What is a conviction play, you know, and when is it time to sell? You have to have, I mean, no one's saying never to sell a crypto asset. I mean, that's just crazy talk. You have to have an exit strategy, but that doesn't mean you sell it all. It's just, you need to have an investment strategy, an investment thesis. You need to, with every asset that you're in, when you have a clear mind without emotion, you need to jot down your exit strategy, what you plan to hold for your moon bag, and at what milestones you want to take some profit, and then just leave every emotion out and follow your thesis. That's it. And you'll be successful in crypto, and just making sure you're with the right plays, and make sure they check all the boxes. You know, have a minimum standard for what a conviction play is. And if you do those things and you don't trade with emotion, which is what got myself also, I can second that, into positions where you sell because it's based off the chart. So this is a conviction play. If you have no other conviction plays, or if you don't have a conviction play, Pajamas is a conviction play. That's your conviction play, 2024, 2025 conviction play. Pajamas. Start DCAing right now if you haven't already.
I agree 100%. Right. I mean, if you guys have not heard of, you guys actually just tune in or have not heard of PayPal Mafia, I just found this out 3 days ago. It blows my mind away. So Google that, look that up, what PayPal Mafia is, and how Steve is, you know, how he has connection to those, I mean, geniuses out there, right? Biggest companies in the world. But not only that, how often you see a billionaire actively in the TG, involved with an admin team, working with the community, you know, I mean, side by side with the community. It's not right. So I know in the space it's very hard to identify what is real and what's bad and what's a scam or not. But you know, it doesn't take much, right? I encourage you guys to definitely look into Pajamas for sure. And that's the reason why we're backing them up. We're backing Pajamas up, and we're not going anywhere. You know, we do not have a big back. I can tell you that we do not have a big back in here, but we're betting this to $1 billion. So I think once it hit $1 billion, I think we'll be fine. You know, so and it's fun for us as well. But yeah, now everything checked out. Now let's talk about the contract, Marshall. Now, for those who are listening, they are asking. I know that there was a recent development recently, so let's talk about that. How is your contract? Is it safe?
Yes, it's safe as you know, safe is a relative word for crypto, because without the regulations that we need from you know, from our leaders, I guess it's a little more sketchy here in the USA. So with that being said, just full disclosure, absolutely. So there's a billion token, and I have Matthew who's actually in our admin group right now. We're going to bring him up. He's the one with the big national, so we're going to bring him up here to speak as well. But while that's being done, or while we're getting him up here, yeah, there was an audit done, or is being done, just so you guys know. But if you look at Dex Tools and you look at Dex Screener, you know, it token sniffer, it checks out. It's obviously Renounced contract. There was 1 billion tokens in the beginning. 2% was burned, and you know, when you look at the token allocation, I had something here that was talking about the token allocation, just so I can be more specific with it. The token allocation, it's something like the top 10 is 4%. And then other than that, it's definitely a nice, you know, it's not top heavy. So I like the token allocation. There's no early wallets, no dev wallets. All the folks who hold the token bought it off the open market. One of the crazy things to me is that when you look at the V4 contract on Radium, there's only like, I think around 1.3 or 1.4% of the supply. Other than that, it's all in holders' hands. So it's not top heavy, but some of the top wallets, we do know who those individuals are. Some of the whales, we do know who they are. We know that they're in for the long haul. And when you look at possibility of offloading these huge amounts, it's really I wouldn't say be impossible, but it could be possible if you had a lot of the smaller wallets that were unloading. But as far as the top, 10, 20 wallets, they're all people in our community and in our admin. Some of them are in our admin group, and I'm in the top 100, but we're all here. I could say like a lot of the top 100 are all really here to stay. So when you look at that, as far as having, high percentages in wallets, having dev tokens with other projects, having, the team, having a heavy token allocation, and you don't know when those wallets are going to be sold. So when you look at those aspects from other projects that I've been in, very nice token distribution. And you can see for yourself, like on the first, top 50, from my recollection, when you go out of the top 10, you're down into the less than 1%. And then when you get to like the top 50 wallets, you're all the way down to like 0.75%. And then when you go 50 to 100, further out, once you get to 100, it's like around 0.25%. So the top 100, I mean, how many projects have you been in where that doesn't happen? You don't, from essentially the top 15 holders on down, you're less than 1%.
Right, and I want to touch on recently, Pajamas just actually recently, I think a couple of days ago, even today, they just had an audit done as well.
Yeah, it was done today. It was done today.
But on top of that, if you guys know about Renounced contracts, it's crazy because they actually took the extra step to get it audited. Because when you renounce a contract, that means that you no longer have access to revise the contract whatsoever at all once the contract is renounced. So oftentimes is that mostly almost 99.9% of the projects out there, once they renounce the contract, there's no reason to have an audit. But the Pajamas team took an extra step. After renouncing the contract, they actually went to get an audit on top of that. So that's just to show the community, how safe the contract is. But the contract is renounced, guys. And they did just get an audit done just today as well. On top of that, the LP is actually burned. So there's no chance of removing the LP. So when you look at a project and you say, is it safe? This is as safe as it gets, right? I've been around the space for a very long time. When LP is burned, when the contract's renounced, and on top of that, you also get an audit on top of a renounced contract, which is not necessary, but they did it anyway. So that's just going to show, their mentality, right? They just want to show to prove the community that it's safe 100%. And I did do my research prior to forming a partnership with Pajamas. As you know, we don't take a partnership lightly. So I made sure that the contract is renounced. I made sure the LP is also burned as well. So that's the reason why we feel comfortable partner with Pajamas. But Marshall, you say that Bit Nation is here. I'd like to
it's Bit National. I believe he's raising his hand. It's MH. It's going to be MH Pajamas, Bit National CEO, and he has agreed to come up here. And I only could say certain things about what was being worked on because I wasn't sure exactly what I could say. So I'm having a feeling that he'll be able to furthermore go into some good detail about some of the things maybe he's working on. So yeah,
Bit
if you look
National, if
down,
you're out there, if you can raise your hand so I can see you. So when you raise your hand, it pops on top. Because right now we have like 185 people. It's kind of hard to find you.
let me see if
There you
he's.
go.
There he
you go. I
goes.
see him.
Okay.
I see him. All right. Bit National. You're on, brother. Great to meet you. Go ahead and introduce yourself and give us a bit of insight to your background experience.
What's up, Matthew?
And Matt, your mic is off if you're speaking.
There we go. How you guys doing today?
Hey, very
What's
well.
up,
How are you?
Matthew?
Hey, Marshall, you're doing great, by the way. Perfect man for the job.
Thank you for your vote of confidence as well. You're awesome, and so glad to have you on board this project. And you're just another second to none.
Love it. I'd love to hear that. Yeah, so I guess you're kind of a bit of a background. You guys are making me feel like a dinosaur. Um, so I got into crypto pretty early. I started, I guess, reading about it 2010, 2011. And, first read about it, magic internet money, thought it was kind of stupid. But I guess what piqued my interest, I have a background in hardware a little bit, so at a younger age, so I could understand it a lot better than most. So I actually seen that they were developing an ATM down in the States, and I think we bought just for a try at a business, the third Bitcoin ATM on the planet, I think is when we started. So it was pretty early, but it's definitely been a run. So since then, we've kind of grown through Canada. We had a online exchange at one point, which we shut down. Just got tired of dealing with regulators and lawyers and whatnot. So we're just back to focusing on ATMs and gonna spread them all across the country.
Nice. Great to finally meet you, Matthew. I've read a little bit about you through the partnership that you have formed with Pajamas.
Yeah.
So currently, right now, you have 350 machines across Canada, correct?
Yes. Give or take 5 or 10. I don't even know where the locations are anymore.
That's awesome. Every day, you just counting the monies, right? That's all that
No,
matters, right?
they just roll out quick and they get removed and reinstalled. They're constantly juggling and moving.
That's awesome. Now, now I assume that some of these ATMs machines are are in the malls as well. You're still muted there, Matthew. If you're speaking there, we can't hear you.
Oh no, sorry. I thought you were asking a question. I was waiting for you to finish.
Oh no! I said I assume that you guys have some of these machines in the malls.
Yeah, we do.
I do see some here. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, there is some in the malls. Our first location was West Edmonton Mall, so that's where I've seen there's a lot of foot traffic there. Those machines are crazy busy, so we're gonna kind of plaster Pajamas all over the country and do our part to donate to Pajamas.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And just kind of like you, we saw the team, the commitment from Steve, and also the work ethic from the team, and that's the reason why we actually partner up with the team. Just kind of like what you saw, right? Which is amazing. The narrative is there, everything is there, and we're very
Yeah,
excited. It's kind of like you.
The team
we
is.
have not yet.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just
No, go
going to
ahead.
say the team. I agree with you. The team is crazy, hardworking, and everyone gets along. It's maybe this is better. Everyone listens. Yeah, that's better. That's not better. Like they work really well together. And after running a company since I was 18 years old, I'm now 38. That's the biggest thing is like people. If you can get people to work together, you can have a profitable or expanding company. That's all it takes is the people.
Yeah, I can definitely sense the dynamic, the positive dynamic. There's definitely a dynamic within the team for sure, and I love that. I love that. But yeah, no, that's so awesome, Matthew. Great to meet you. And could you speak on now? I know Marshall kind of spoke on a bit about the idle screen that you plan to have pajamas on the screen there across the country. Could you elaborate
Yeah,
on that a bit more?
yeah. So right now we have the capability to, if no one's using it after, I think 20 seconds, if no one touches the screen, we have the capability to put advertisement on there. So we can sell that advertisement space, or we've had a lot of offers for that in the past, but it just kind of wasn't worth the headache. It's a lot easier just to basically just run our own stuff on there. So what we're gonna do for pajamas is we have our designers right now doing up some like whole screensavers that will basically slide through kind of 3, 4 different advertisement screens, kind of explaining pajamas a little bit, and they'll run right across the country for them.
That is awesome. That's a lot of exposure that pajamas will be getting there. So that's incredible. That's incredible.
It's super, super, super duper.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, as the space evolves, right? Yeah, those machines going to be it's going to play a very important part at every single mall, right? Where you
Yeah, and
onboard and offboard fiat.
yeah, for sure. And the biggest part for us, like I see a lot of problems with crypto where it may be on one marketplace but not another, and people in one country can access a certain coin and they can't in another. You can withdraw cash, you can't withdraw cash. You can withdraw to your bank, you can't withdraw to your bank. This will at least give Canadians a place, if they are in pajamas and want to pull out, 2, 3, 4, 5 grand, 9 grand, or whatever it is, they can go to the machine and pull out 9K in cash from pajamas, which helps. It gives an exit point. Exit points are important.
Exactly. It's like a offboard ramp to fiat, right? So that's actually going to be very convenient. But you definitely need the
Yeah,
accessibility eventually, right? And that's what's going to create
yeah,
adoption as well.
yeah, for sure. And it's kind of interesting too. Like I would have never done this with a project. Like I've been around the block, been in rug pulls, been in you name it, but pajamas, the way they were structured, the way everything was kind of going on, it was just a no-brainer to kind of give this meme coin a little bit more exposure. I don't think there's any other meme coin except for Dogi that has, ATM transactions, so it's kind of cool for the project to add.
I think a little meme, a little more exposure is an understatement for what you're doing is not
There's
definitely a little more exposure. That's going to be instrumental in actually our early successes here. I just want to interject one moment because I've been slaughtering your name. I feel like I know it's Matthew Hayden or Haddon.
Either or, I'm not offended, but hadn't.
Okay. All right. So now I know. And also, I wanted to see if maybe you would share your stories of how you, where you saw pajamas and how it piqued your interest and when you got involved with the project, if you don't mind.
I actually seen a Twitter post. It was a bit before you guys were kind of tagging Steve. There were some people talking about a rug pull and stuff. Sometimes I just poke my head in to see what happened. And I was kind of in there just listening and watching everything develop. I wasn't really talking. I think I might have said 2 or 3 words, and then I left it open on my Telegram. I didn't leave the channel, and then I kind of seen everything blowing up, and I was like, oh, crazy. So I went back in and started reading. Everyone was kind of hyped up, and that's when I started to engage a little bit more. So I don't think Steve was I think you guys were he just kind of got into the community maybe or something. But I continued talking for another 2 weeks and kind of realized, how the team was. Like you guys were relentless, and that's like, but that's how the projects get to be how they are. Like I've watched a lot of projects develop, and the relentlessness is what is the success in the end.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. And that first pump that we had, and then the fall to 1 point, I want to say 1.5 or 1.6 $1 million market cap. I actually was not in at that time because if you remember me telling you guys when I entered was probably around the 10th or 11th of April, but you guys got a good deal.
I waited to buy it, so I didn't. I went in a little bit, but not much till later on. So I'm with you.
Yeah, same here, same here. I put my money in though. I put half of what I was gonna. I put double what my maximum was to put in. That I kind of made a rule that I wasn't going to put in more than X amount, and I put in double once I realized the authenticity of what was actually going on, and Steve was actually part of the project. I'm like, oh shit, it's time to double down. So yeah, but yeah, if you guys are just hearing this and you haven't started with Pajamas, I urge you to DCA, start today, and to join our Telegram. Come in, have some interactions with Steve, have some interactions with the community, and just see what it's all about. You don't have to buy first and then come to TG. You can come to TG and check everything out and see if it's for you, and then you can make your decision. This is not a sell. This project does not need a sell. This is easy. This is a no-brainer. If you're in the crypto space, if you just do some research and see what's out there and see what makes the meme coins, blossom and what meme season is, and you look at our narrative and what we have, it's just unmatched. It really is unmatched. We've checked every box 3 times, if you can imagine that's actually a thing.
Yeah, no, I gotta jump off here, guys, but I just wanted to say one more thing too. Is Steve? I never thought he'd be the kind of guy he was after I got to know him, like a little bit anyway. The little bit of I do know him is I didn't think a billionaire could be that humble. He's a really nice guy, and he's not here to get rich. He's not here to make you rich. He's here out of passion. And coming into the project, just know that there's passion there. It's not a get rich quick scheme. So keep that in mind. Like he's here for passion. Passion leads to great things. So, but keep that in mind. This is a project of it's more passion and fun, which is great. It could be hugely, and I see it being successful, but I don't want to downplay that. But at the same time, Steve's here for passion, not for money, which is important in my eyes.
It is, and I think
Well
that's what
said, well said.
and that's what attracts the community. That's what attracts us as well. I actually just in the private group right now. I guess apparently he's on a 4-hour sleep within 48 hours. So that's the reason
Sounds
why
about right.
he was in here listening to the AMA, but 4 hours and 4 hours sleeping 48 hours. That's not a lot. But anyway, we will be doing a lot of these AMAs, guys. So the idea of this is that we do a lot of AMAs. Every Saturday we bring like 3 to 5 communities over. So we plan to have you guys come over as well. So the idea is to get you guys exposure through our different communities, right? Just so people know what Pajamas is about the team, about Steve. And I think once they hear the story, I think everybody will fall in love, or at least it sparks curiosity for them to look into it. And I think we have the biggest narrative out there. Pajamas is the biggest narrative at the moment, hands down. And that's the reason why we're supporting you guys as well. But hopefully on the next AMA, where Steve got more than 4 hours sleep in 48 hours, he can come on and introduce himself a bit. But the last time, they did have an AMA, guys, and I actually was part of it. And that's when we actually announced a partnership. Steve was on video with Marshall and the rest of the team. So it is 100% verified. So he did dox to us on video.
Yep.
So it's not fake. He's real.
Yeah, just go in the chat and type in /Steve is real.
That's right. Yes, that's right. You're right.
Matthew,
absolutely. 100%.
Where are you from in Canada? I'm in Seattle, so I'm not too far away from you. I usually go to Vancouver every summer before the pandemic. Where are you from in Canada?
I'm in Calgary actually, but I got a network in Vancouver. I'm there a lot. So next time you're up there, I'll take you out for some steak dinner.
Oh
if
man,
you eat meat.
I love steak. Rib eye. Oh, I just had the last
There
night
you
too.
go.
That is awesome. Well, Marshall,
Matthew, thank you.
I was actually
Matthew.
born in Seattle.
Oh,
where are you?
Nice.
Where are you?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, wow.
When I seen your name, I was like, I wonder if he's from Seattle.
I am. The funny thing is apparently Stevie travels a lot. I think one of the very first message that he I don't know, I forgot, but I think he goes here sometimes as well. So maybe one day, one day we all sit down over a rib eye steak.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
definitely something that I know that Steve spent some time in Chicago as well, and then out in Cali, and this he's like Carmen Sandiego. This man is all around the world.
Yes, I mean, the funny thing is that we're very busy as well. So I pop in your TG here and there, and during the process of researching you guys, and I remember popping in one night, and he was like the first thing I saw was like a picture of him on some kind of what mountain it was that Mount Everest.
Yeah, it was Mount Everest. He was doing a pajama purchase of he was DCAing on pajama. It wasn't his first purchase, but it was a purchase that he said buying pajamas from the top of Mount Everest. So that was just, I mean, come on, guys, that's just crazy.
Now that is incredible. How often you see that, huh? And I didn't know there was like actually like a hotel like on top of the. Was it on
I
top of
didn't
the
know that
mountain?
either. He obviously like he it was like there was some other pictures that showed him in a helicopter. So he definitely had to fly to get to there. I don't think it's at the top of Mount Everest, but I'm sure it's at one of the lower peaks there. Maybe it's near. I mean, I don't know. I would be guessing. I didn't actually look into it, but like you, I was like, what? So there's a hotel up here somewhere, but yeah, I'm sure it's definitely not the peak. But maybe someone will pipe in here and tell me on my phone here where exactly. It's topmost hotel in the world. Is that the actual name of it, Blade?
It was the highest meme coin has ever been traded.
Yeah, yeah, we'll go with that. But yeah, it's the high it's the highest hotel in the world. So if you look that up on Google, then you'll be able to see that. I'm sure you'll be able to see that hotel.
Awesome. We have 188 participants right now, guys. So this is incredible. We averaged like around 160, 150, depending on the day, but this is incredible. So if you guys are just tuning in right now, Pajamas, we are in partnership with Pajamas. We just had a chance to meet Matthew as well from Bit National. He owns 350 uh, crypto ATMs across Canada, and he will be supporting Pajamas as well. So there's a lot of exposure there. But anyway, guys, this is not a selling segment. I just want you guys to encourage you just to look into Pajamas. We do hold a pretty small stake into, not stake, but we bought into Pajamas, and we're not selling anytime soon, and I can tell you that, right? And I just want to make sure that everyone here understands that Pajamas never paid us one single token. We had many offers throughout the years, 20% supply, thousands of dollars. We had turned every single one of them down. The funny thing is the first meme token we ever worked with and actually formed partnership and support didn't pay anything. So that's just kind of show of how much we like the team, how much we love the narrative, and just overall every single box checked out, like Marshall said earlier there. And I'm pretty sure that Matthew from Bit National feels the same way. And I have a feeling that there will be a lot more. Now, behind the scenes, I cannot say much, but I've been talking to a lot of some big names out there. But again, when it happens, right? We cannot say much, but yeah, a lot of things are happening.
There are definitely some big announcements coming. That's all I can tell you guys. There's some big announcements coming. I won't say when. I can just tell you that they're coming and that there'll be announcements. I would say as soon as a week from now, some announcements, but whether they're big or small announcements, you'll have to stay tuned.
Awesome. I love this. I love this session here. I think we're gonna going forward. I had a chat with a few KOLs, so we're gonna put a bunch of well-known memes together, and we're gonna have pajamas on as well, along with you guys. And I think we're gonna do that a lot going forward as well, just so people know the pajamas team and what we're about. So I think yeah. And again, every Saturday, I'll run through my team again, but we do have a banner that goes out where projects apply it, and we actually hand select these projects. And so you have different comes together. So hopefully, I'll run through my team, but I'm very confident that they will agree with me to have pajamas in that banner every Saturday.
Yes. I'll
So
be available. I'll make myself available. Just make sure I know in advance, and I will always be there. I'm definitely committed to pajamas. This is my conviction play, 2024, 25, and 26. Let's just keep going. Maybe even 27 too.
the whole decade, how about that? The next 10
Let's do
years,
it.
guys.
And let's touch on that. Let's touch on that for a moment. So it's, you laugh about that now and it's kind of like, but really it's possible. I mean, if you look at Dogecoin, if you look at SHIB, they made it through a bear market. I think SHIB didn't go below maybe 4 or 5 billion. Doge, I think around the same thing. So, we say that laughing now, but I could see this being a top 10, top 20 meme token. And then even in a bear market, when the partnerships align and when the collabs continue to happen and people can connect with pajamas, it's fun. It's like a fun cat meme token. Pajamas, I mean, you couldn't have a better name. You can do so much with the name pajamas, not even just the cat meme, but it goes far beyond meme into Web3. We don't want to necessarily lose the meme ability for pajamas, so we don't necessarily want to have too much utility, but it can survive the bear market, and it will survive the bear market. And when you say a decade, it's not far-fetched. Being a form of payment, you look at all Steve Chen's connections to Google, to YouTube. What if they did something to, like I mentioned earlier in this AMA? What happens when they, help to solidify Steve Chen's contributions, or to help to immortalize pajamas, and decide to just do something because they want to? What would that do for this token? Payment, a form of payment, just any kind of thing. You look at what Elon has done for Dogecoin, and I'm not going to underplay it. It has been significant, but it hasn't been, to this date, a lot. There's been some things that he's still kind of promising and working on and collabing. But when you look at that and you look at the fact that what we have with Steve and what could be built or what could be built around pajamas, the possibilities are endless. And that's really all it takes to have that longevity. And I don't doubt it for a second that this is an asset that can definitely stick around for more than a decade. And with that being said, especially when you get into forms of payments on different platforms.
Right, and kind of like what Matthew said earlier there, Steve doesn't have to do this. This is our passion, right? This is strictly our passion and fun, and that's it, right? And so when you actually analyze it and you ask yourself, I mean, would a billionaire associate himself with just a rug token or a token that he's not committed to, right? I mean, he's putting his name on the line here, guys, right? Just think about it for a second. I mean, why would you, right? Why would you? This guy is a billionaire. And you know his mindset. To be a billionaire, you gotta have a very business mindset. You gotta have a good leadership skill.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to check down. So it's not something that he plays around. If he's over there actively working with the community, actively working with an admin team, he's literally putting his name on the line, right? Their mindsets are different, right? I mean, it's gonna make it. I just don't doubt it. It's gonna make it. I came from a business background as well, and so when we, just a different mindset, right? Just a different mindset. He doesn't have to do this, so yeah, just analyze that and just make the assessment accordingly. It's not financial advice, but analyze it very deeply. Analyze it. There's
Deeply.
not a Bitcoin out there.
I think that we can all agree that Steve Chen is not doing this for the money.
100%, 100%. All right, guys, just to recap, we have Matthew here with us from Bit National, 350 crypto machine across Canada. They're in partnership with Pajamas, not pay, just like us. USA Crypto Group. We've been around for 3 years now. I've been around the space for 7 to 8 years. Many offers, deny every single one of them. You've never seen this partnership with any meme token before Even a coin, actually, the only coin that we ever partnered with was actually coin. And we helped them get to 2 point something billion market cap. And that was it. But of course, we partnered with service projects like L Bank, Bitmart, Celtic, etc., but not a coin, not a project itself. So this is not a paid partnership. This is something that we just like to do. This is something that we love the team. We love. This is a tribute to Steve, right? And that's it, right? A guy, come on, YouTube co-founder. It doesn't get any better than that, guys. So anyway, I just want to mention this and make sure that everyone's clear on that, because a lot of people think in the space that when you form a partnership, it's usually a paid things, and usually KOLs will dump on you. No, we actually had to buy the tokens ourselves. We don't have a big stake on it. We bought it ourselves, but not a lot. But we betting on this for long term, and that's it. But it's a pleasure meeting you, Matthew and Marshall. You're doing a heck of a job representing the team. It was
Thank you.
Great AMA. And we're gonna do this a lot more. I'd like to talk to you, Marshall, and even Matthew as well. We should do this a lot more. Maybe I'll bring other communities in with us and just have a regular chat, whether that's crypto, just like a hangout. I think it'll be I think the community will like that. Maybe we'll have an open mic for everyone as well.
Yeah, that would actually be phenomenal. And I also like to add that with Bit National, it's 350 ATMs and growing.
That is awesome.
Got another 180.
I was wondering if you were going to pipe in. I did a little wink with my eye. I was like,
I know we got about 180 in a warehouse in Calgary we're about to deploy. So those will grow quick.
There you go, folks. More bullish sentiment. But hey, awesome. Thanks for having us. It's been great. I really do appreciate it. We will do this more.
We have so many questions. Can you take a few questions, Marshall? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike. Mike, you there, brother?
I am, brother.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure if you've been. We have so many questions in the room. I'm not sure if you've been tracking the questions, but do you mind read some of the questions off, Mike?
Yeah, let me pull them up here real quick.
He's scrolling. I can hear him scrolling through those questions real fast. That was
yeah, tons of questions. I'm not sure we were going to get through it. But
taking down everybody's name, saying up on that. I wasn't on the questions here today, but let me see what I got.
Well, we got 2 seconds here too, guys. Seattle and Mike, I love what you guys are doing, and USA Crypto Group. I'm new to see it because I'm out of Canada, but Pajamas definitely appreciates the partnership, and keep up the good work.
Likewise, and I think I foresee Pajamas. It's going to form great partnerships in the future. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, so many things in store for you folks.
Where are you from, Marshall? I never asked you that. What state are you
I'm a Hoosier. I'm from Indiana. Yep.
Indiana.
Yep. So Indiana Hoosier. I spent about 15 years in South Florida. Ended up moving back to Indiana about 5 years ago. So it's been really great. I moved to Florida when I was single, had no kids, made a family down there, and then didn't have any family there. So my significant other's from Philadelphia, and so her family was from Philly. My family's from Indiana. Not was from Philly. They are from Philly. My family's from Indiana, and so after a while, and the cost of living kept increasing, and I'm like, listen, whether we move to Philadelphia or Indiana, we got to make a decision. It took us a couple of years to finalize that decision and finally move here at the end of 2017. It's been really great. I'm glad the kids my kids were Floridians, so they never experienced like actual winter or snow. And every Christmas, it's like, oh, so are we going to go to the beach now? And, it's like 75, 80, 85 degrees. So the kids are really, it's been nice for them to experience this as well. But yeah, originally born in Indiana.
Yeah, I think Mike's from Boston, so it's over on the East Coast as well. But yeah, I do have some family members over in Florida, Clearview, Florida. Man, I gotta
Clearview or Clearwater? Is it Clearview?
Water.
You said? Oh, called Clearwater. Yeah, I know where that's at. Yep.
Yeah, it's hot, man. It's hot out there.
That's beautiful. Clearwater is beautiful, though. It's a really nice
Beautiful.
place, though. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the beach is amazing actually compared to Seattle. We don't really have nothing up
Yeah,
there
you know what?
really.
You know what's funny is I was actually thinking about moving to San Diego. I went to Cancun in 2004, and I had been wanting to move out of Indiana for a while. And I went there for spring break, and I came back, and there was 6 inches of snow on the ground, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done. So I wanted to move to the West Coast or down south, and I feel like my mic was. So I actually looked at moving to San Diego, and the two things that deterred me was the cost of living, obviously, and the Pacific water is colder than the Atlantic. And so I was like, okay, so I'll just move to South Florida. And so that's how it all began. But that's what I made my decision off of not moving out to the West Coast. I'm still going to get out
You're a
there, but
water guy, huh?
oh yeah, I was born to be by the water. So I'll eventually be back there again. So hopefully this with pajamas and some other assets I have, I'll be able to retire soon. I'm 47 in a few months, but I'm hoping to retire soon and then be able to do some traveling and also have a home down there in Florida, maybe even out in Cali too, if I'm so blessed.
Well, that's 2 years away, so you're not far away, brother.
Thank you.
Oh,
So what's do we have any questions
We do.
from the
Yep.
community?
It took a little bit for me to find a good one here because you got so many of them answered in this amazing presentation today, very well detailed. So I kind of had to dig here. But one of the good questions for the community here is what inspired the team to go with Solana as a network of choice, and is there any futures plans to go on another network?
Yeah, I think that that's something that was out of our control, to be honest with you. When you look at the prior dev who created the contract, that was their network of choice, and I'm certain that it's obviously because of the low transaction fees. And if you look at Ethereum and the high transaction fees there, and you look at Polygon and their network, and they have lower transaction fees, but there's not necessarily a lot of meme tokens there. They at this juncture. And then if you look at Base was still up and coming at the time, so the developer probably considered that. I know Base recently, and maybe the last shortly after this Pajamas was created, like started increasing 400, 500, 600% traffic. So I'm guessing at the time of concept, Solana was probably the best option, and with the low transaction fees, I can definitely understand why. But I think it's been a great help that we've been on Solana network. That there's a little bit of a barrier to entry for someone coming from an Ethereum chain, figuring out what they need to do to get on the Solana network. But it's actually you can do like a couple YouTube videos and look up Phantom Wallet and so on. And I think it's out of all the options, it was probably the most viable.
It makes sense.
And you asked about future
Possible
I
networks
think
as well.
yeah, I think that maybe cross chain. Maybe I mean, there's no talks, but I could definitely see Base as an option.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And I believe that you guys do have in your TG as well how to get over to Solana Network, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I'm sorry, you were breaking up on that last part. What was that?
If I'm not mistaken, you guys actually have over in your Telegram a how-to on a backslash on how to get onto Solana Network.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some other links that we have where we've created tutorials as well to show how to actually purchase. And then if you go to pajamas.cat, you'll see that there's a swap there that's linked through Jupiter. So you can actually do the swap right there on our website as well if you connect your wallet to that, which is pretty awesome.
Very good. Yeah, education is 100% key. 100%.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next question is from Aston here. How can we as a community participate in helping the project grow as a whole?
I think that right now it's really important to do, to kind of make it fun for the space as a whole, making more memes, being creative, more content on the X platform, and just really participating in Telegram, coming to the Telegram, joining our Telegram, participating in VCs. When you see spaces going on, make sure you're a live participant. When you see things like this coming about with AMAs, with other partners, make sure you join, make sure you ask questions, make sure you share, retweet, share to any rooms, private rooms you may be a part of. And just, chill and raid and tell your friends. I mean, I've brought probably close to 10 people in since my joining of Pajamas, and most of the team, continues to talk through their circle of friends. Just tell people what it's about. Give them the material and let them research and make their own decision. But just, I think, spreading the word. And if you have a special skill set that, is something that you really feel like that could benefit the project, reach out to one of the moderators and let us know where you can fit in. I think everyone underscores their abilities, and everyone has a skill set. Everyone has an ability. Everyone, one of mine is a gift of gabber. One of mine is just being able to relate to average people, because I'm an average person. And so I do what I can do for the project. My mom always told me that, when I was younger, it was, would you ever shut up? And so it's like, but my mom always said after, when I wasn't in trouble, that keep talking because it'll get you far one day. And so that's one of my special skill sets. If never really understood that it would be a full circle or like this, but I guess she was right.
I love that. There's so many things that come full circle in the end, don't they?
Absolutely.
Last question I'm going to ask you here, brother, is if you could choose one thing that's been most difficult, and it could be from your time or, since as long as you've known the project, that's been most difficult task that you've had to overcome, whether it was community takeover, whatever it was, what could you say it's been for Pajamas to date?
I think for Pajamas, so prior to Steve doing the interview on the 14th, it was just getting people to believe in what we had, and the narrative was strong and actual real. I think that I feel like my mic is in the wrong spot. I feel like that with the crypto space as a whole, it's like guilty till proven innocent. And what I mean by that is, like, we're all kind of used to rug pulls and seeing scams and clones and hijacked, hacked accounts where we thought it was this, and then it was the old, juke. And I think that one of the hardest things for us as a project was when we knew that we had Steve Chen on board, and Steve Chen, and, we were talking about this earlier, when Steve Chen was in the group, it wasn't until that we actually did the interview on April the 14th, that on Sunday, that people actually was like, oh shit, this is actually real. So, but I think that was one of the hardest parts. But I think one of the hardest parts before that was getting the team, and finding the right people for the team, because the community is everything, but without a strong team, it's the same. We're the community without a team can't be successful. A team without the community can't be successful. And so it's a nice collaborative effort between all of that. And then having Steve as well, backing the project and also at the helm. It's now, full blown into what we are today. But I think that the steps getting here was difficult, and also getting Steve Chen on board with the project, even though he had passion and really liked the project, it was a lot to overcome, getting someone, a multi-billionaire, and his mentality to embrace what we were doing. And I wasn't even there, but I've heard that, just kind of the way that the team has talked about it. You can imagine that they had to really work hard to get Steve on board, because Steve invests in people. So he had to see not just the memeability, not just the the potential, but the team that was behind this project in the very beginning really left an impression on him. And I'm sure that was probably one of the biggest, one of the hardest things that they had to overcome and go through, along with the other things I've mentioned.
Very well said, brother. And, more often than not, that's what actually most people look for these days is, they're investing in the team, not so much as, where the coin is now or where it can be, but, backing the team and what they can do for the space itself. So very well said.
Thank you.
But that's all the questions we're going to bombard you with today.
Okay. It's not a problem. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it there, Marshall. I'm going to kick it back to Seattle here, and I'd like to remind the community, head on over to Pajamas Telegram and ask any more questions that you'd like to answer there as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Marshall. Very well answered. But yeah, guys, amazing AMA. I think, Marshall, you're doing a heck of a job being a spokesperson for the team. I think
Thank you very much.
Very well. And I think that's what's needed, right? A person out there really get the message of pajamas out there. So I think it's actually very crucial. So yeah, guys, I appreciate all of you guys attending this AMA. And this is the beginning, guys. Again, I would say not financial advice. We're not going to sell pajamas for a very long time. We don't have a lot, but we're not going to, we're riding this for a very long time. I made the mistake with Shiba Inu. And the blockchain reminds me every day. It reminds you every single day. So this one is going to be, this one, we're going to hold this one for a very long time, right? And again, right, so when you analyze the project, again, guys, you really have to, do not go with the hype out there, right? You really have to analyze and, I say root cause analysis, right? You got to research from the bottom up, right? And really make the assessment accordingly. Look at the team, look at the commitment, look at the work ethic for the team, and who's in it, right? Don't just jump from one coin to another coin which you know nothing about, right? And that's how you lose money. Trust me, I've been in it for a long time. And, mistakes, I made a lot of mistakes. And this one, I feel I'll be very confident on this one. And that's the reason why we're helping pajamas out. So I think it's gonna be good. This is the beginning, not financial advice, okay? So I know we're in a position where when I say things like I can get myself in trouble with the SEC and stuff like that. It's funny because, Marshall, I'm telling you now, there's a screen name. It's literally Gary Gensler. I'm not sure, but is he in here right now, Mike? Well, I don't know if it's just Gary Gensler. When you scroll down, it's actually Gary Gensler.
He was in here.
Maybe it's the real OG.
Oh man,
OG Gary. I bet his britches are burning now. He's probably just, I think some regulation is going to be great for crypto. I just think we need to, too much too fast. It's not good for crypto, but a little bit as we go along is perfect. And it's what we need to get institutions and more high net worth individuals in and assets under management as well.
Yeah, it is hard. It's a very complex topic, right? It's very hard. Being decentralized, there are definite benefits to it, but at the same time, as we've seen, right, it's full with scammers, and the people that actually victims of those are the people that are new to the space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no regulations at all, right? And so that comes with it. You literally have to know what the heck you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Same time, when people make millions of dollars. Right? Somebody's got to lose as well, right? So imagine come to the space and you kind of lose your whole life saving at all-time high on a meme token.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. You got to. That's why some regulation is going to be great for crypto. I want to also remind everybody to come over to our the first cat from the first YouTube cat on X platform, and also if you click on my profile picture, you can come over to my page and follow it or give it a like, or also see some updates there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Give Marshall a follow, guys. He's gonna be around for a while. He's representative of the team, right? So he's pretty much an image or I guess in the traditional business world, he's the PR, right? Public
Yeah.
relation. You want to call that, right? It's actually a very important role in every business out there. And I think it's doing a heck of a job. So,
Thank
but
you.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
every opportunity that we have, my team and I, we actually have been talking to a lot of people. Of course, in the space here now, right? It's everybody's in it for the money, right? So it's it's sometimes it's hard, but we are talking to a lot of people, guys. I cannot say much, but I'm sure over there as well. Again, it's crazy because you think about the narrative, this connection that Steve has, right? Usually, other project, the community go out there and attack Elon and attack all this PayPal mafia, right? But they're not doing that. Everything's been organic so far. Every person's helping Pajamas because they want to, out of their heart, they want to do it. It's not paid, so that's so beautiful about it, and that's what I want to be involved in.
Absolutely.
So Marshall, thank you so much, Marshall. Is there a last word for us that you want to leave the U.S. community with?
We love you. From Pajamas family to all of you, we love you. And thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak to you and to let you know about what is really going on behind the scenes and what Pajamas is all about. And just remember, whether you believe in the universe or whether you believe in God, we're all connected. And for that, like I love to say, I can say we love you. Have a good rest of the day, guys.
Likewise. Thank you a lot, Marshall. All right, guys. But this time we have Santa Mike. Santa Mike is gonna, when Mike is here, it's always gonna be presents, right? Every day is Christmas.
Come to bring
take it away, brother.
I just shared the screen over here. We're gonna grab a couple of winners off the wheel here today. Let's go with 3 winners. So let me shuffle it up here. We'll grab our 3 winners off the wheel.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, Mikey texts out every single person's name on here. I'm not sure how he does it. I still don't know how the heck he does it after 3 years.
Quick fingers. Crypto Island, congratulations on yourself some cash there. Shuffle it up again. It's funny, after the 3 years, Seattle's name has been pulled once out of the 3 years.
I think it's rigged. I really think it's rigged. So I don't know. I'm going to have to file a complaint somewhere. Maybe Gary Gensler, please look into this.
I think his name has been pulled once too. Let's see, Matcha, congratulations. Last shuffle up here, guys. It's been a great presentation today. Good chat overall. DB23. That's it for the wheel, guys. Congratulations. And it's been an amazing chat. Like I said, good to have you on. Marshall is with the team here as well. And we'll love to see you guys in the next one, 100%.
But let's do a random number. Once we open up a chat room, guys, let's do a random number. How many participants do we have currently right now still listening?
Let's see. We have 175.
All right, let's do 1 to 250. 5 guesses only, okay? And let's phone out $10. Now today, guys, it's gonna be different. Today is gonna be for Pajamas token, right? Because I want you guys to be rich. Hold it. So, so usually we actually do cash, but actually the team is gonna do Pajamas token today, and hold it. Trust me. So yeah. So once we open the room, 5 guesses, 1 to 250, just for fun. How does that sound, Mike?
Love it. No deleting anything because we will check.
Awesome, guys. Well, Marshall, thank you so much for being here. I think you're great. I think the team is great. Steve is great as well. Everyone's great. And we love our community. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thank you very much. You have a good rest of the evening or morning or afternoon, whatever it may be for you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for having us.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yep.